back to Loving Guitar, where I like to talk about guitars and how they make me feel. Today's subject is none other than my beloved EPIPHONE Flying V. The 58, the 58, right? It's called the 58 Flying V. I've had it for a bit now. It feels like home in many ways for me. Because in the early 90s, I had a Flying V back then too, and I had an Ibanez. I loved it too, but one thing about Flying Vs, as we all know, actually only those who have Flying Vs know, it's not a guitar that you play seated. Now, sure, you could play with, do the lap thing, if depending if, how, some people have their, the input over here, and that's kind of weird, because it'll be stabbing you in the leg, but if this is just here for just a strap lock, that's fine. And I like the fact that we just come out right out of one of these wings. I think the Ibanez one I had came out from here, if I'm not mistaken. It kind of was weird. I remember it kind of got in the way sometimes, but I did enjoy playing it because it reminded me that it was a guitar that is like designed to be like from the get-go something you stand up and entertain crowds with. And then I remember when I was a lot younger than I am now, when I look at some of my heroes, like Albert King, he played a Flying V. A few other cats, were playing Flying, and Jimi Hendrix too. But this is just that was like a rare occurrence, But say like Albert King, that's you get used to. That's the acts that he chooses to play, and now he's a person who could play. He could play that seated. He could play that upside down on a chandelier. I think I got some of his humidity or something. Not humidity, like his ball sack or something. Because there's certain images that kind of stirred up for me when I was younger. Like there's certain images, like you see the picture of, say, Che Rivera, that guy, the guy, the revolutionist, and you associate that with revolutionaries, right? And I would see the Flying V in that manner too. So, and then of course, I got my Albert King. Anyway, so mine was my first introduction into Flying V. And many others had done that too, the Flying V stuff. But it was more like a one-trick pony on one night only. Because it's a very unique, weird configuration. Now, here is the thing. Here's very interesting, which I found. Is that in generations later, so now the modern generation, now we have these folks who can they're shredders, right? That's what they're called nowadays, right? Shredders. So, and these shredders, they can get in position and shred away. That was very difficult for a person who wants to move around, And if you're moving around with a lot of, actually, moving around with a guitar is kind of cool. It's kind of an extension of yourself, And that's where I think the Flying V kind of stands out on its own, because if you're seated with it, you're in a challenge. Other than the fact that you're playing guitar, you're challenged in the position. You're challenged in its configuration because of its position, because of the position it puts itself onto you. So you have to find your way into the nucleus, how to say, in order to figure out how to accommodate yourself for the guitar, because the guitar is not going to accommodate to you. It's like an SG. People don't know exactly the interesting offset that's going to happen to you until you play an SG and you realize, you're playing E and F chords way out here, and your bridge is ending kind of like this. It's very similar. This is kind of reminding me almost like an SG, except it's got without the SG body. So you know what I mean. And that's another reason why I kind of remember, kind of like I would make sense why I gravitated towards these in the early '90s. With my Ibanez. Anyway, moving on. So, a few years ago, 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, I think, I got this thing. And I was completely blown away because from the moment I held this thing in my hands, now I know I can't hurt myself like the way I used to and throw myself all over the stages, like, and just beat the crap out of myself and my guitars while doing it. I'm not gonna do that anymore. Those days, I maybe I'll see videos of me doing it, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to. That's it. Those days. But now I kind of relive those moments when I play this guitar more than any other guitar that I have in my arsenal. Even my guitar, well, okay, not my two oldest punk guitars, but this one is the one that resonates with me because, when I reminisce about my Ibanez Flying V. Except that this Epiphone Flying 58, I think, 58 design, inspired, Gibson inspired, 58, I don't know, something like that. This one blows away my old Ibanez. Destroys it. And I thought that one was like a slice of heaven. On stage, live, and it was lightweight. Oh, it was great. Except for one thing, the pickups weren't, whatever was in those pickups, I don't remember what was in those pickups. Wait a second. Oh no, wait a second. I do remember. I think I put, oh yeah, that's right. I put 57 classic humbuckers in there, PAFs. And then I sold it too with those, oh, you see, now I'm regretting. I should have taken out those 57s. Anyway, point is this. I got this, and lo and behold, I'm thrown back into this whole euphoric feeling about this design and how it makes you feel. It plays differently, You approach the instrument differently. For me, that is, Well, and so the added bonus about what I'm getting out of this particular guitar, because this is just over the top, outstanding. I mean, I haven't got a single thing negative to say about this. This is just outstanding in every way. What makes it outstanding first for me, well, okay, other than the fact that before I even plugged it in, just touching it, you see, I keep touching it because it's nice to touch. It's kind of begging for you to plug it in, That's exactly what you want a guitar to urge you and nudge you and say, "Come on, plug me in." It has that magic. Next, it has these pickups. I guess what are these? The Epiphone Pro Buckers or Burst Buckers, Pro Burst? I don't know. Wow, these pickups. I mean, well, here's the one thing. It changes the whole your whole approach. The reason why is because this is it hot? But it sounds like it's self-distorted in a way. It easily gets gainy and just nice, crunchy. Even before I put any pedals on, any overdrive, whether I'm using a tube screamer or a clon type, you know. I do like my distortions, and all my distortions are all based on the Big Muff design. So I have a Lizard Queen by JHS based on the Big Muff and an octave mix. The other one is the Muffaletta, which is various versions of the Big Muff that JHS packages. And then I also have in line a deluxe Big Muff. It's for the bass, but it's great for guitars. And sometimes I just don't use any of that. Sometimes I don't need anything. In fact, with this guitar, all I really need is just my booster pedal. Because this guitar just sounds so cranking good. It's just such a great cranker. If there was one guitar that I needed that I had to play on a rock and roll night with, and they couldn't bring any pedals with me. All I needed, and they said, okay, Waldo or Thruster, and say, okay, we need you for this gig. You just bring a guitar and a cable. I go, okay, can't bring my booster? No, you can't even bring your booster. It's like, oh my God, not even my booster or a distortion? Nope, just the cable and a guitar. It's a rock and roll show. Be prepared. Okay, all right. It would have to be this thing. If it's a rock and roll night, if it has anything to do with like sounding distorted and rock and rolly, like with a Marshall cabinet or a Soldano, blaring, and letting tubes explode on their own, just getting all nice and warm and fuzzy. I'm gonna use this to drill it into the crowd. This is easy because this is like having built-in distortion, overdrive, booster pedals, everything in here. I don't know the magic sauce. Why? I'm not a specs chaser. I really don't give a crap about specs. Spec my ass. Spec your ass. I don't know. Okay, let's not spec anyone's ass. Point is this, I'm not into spec. What specs? Who cares about specs? You know what? I hear things and I feel things. You know what? My eyes are. It's hard to see anything without my glasses, so I can be easily fooled. You're probably a really good-looking crowd, but I can't see until, oh God. All right, folks, moving on. So all I needed to get off my chest is that I've been holding back on this, because maybe I was just saying to myself, I don't know. Maybe these guys just want to see all these Harley Benton stuff and the young crowds or the crowds that like, looking into cheap guitars to buy or a little bit of inspiration. Like, you can do it. Keep practicing and really keep practicing. Practice seriously. Practice to get stuff done. That's good. That's good work. Okay. So yes, she's called Black Venus. She's Black Venus. I don't have another girl that's called Venus. But she's Black Venus. Okay, because obviously we got a V. She's black, and they say once you go black, you never. Well, you know what? I've gone back a few times to black. All right. Moving on, Black Venus, folks. This is her. This is she's my rock and roll can opener. Oh God, look, she's so. I made her all grimy. That's me. That's not the fault of the guitar getting all grimy. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Guitars and guitar players, they kind of find a relationship eventually. You know, it could be a loving relationship. It could be one founded in hate. Like, oh, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. You paid a lot of money for me. Yes, and that's why I'm better. That's what I'm trying to make myself believe. Well, you know what, folks? You know what the most valuable part of the whole equation of this whole thing about getting your money's worth out of a guitar? It's all in the hands, see? You see, because your hands, they don't have eyes. See, they don't have eyes. And they don't even have ears. They just have skin. And, you know, when skin is involved, there's a lot of sensitivities. There's more focus. You don't have to look at anything. You don't have to hear anything. It's all about the feel. And when that happens, when I judge with that metric, well, you know, don't be surprised if the results I get may be different from yours. I'm still so grimy. Everything gets, as soon as I look at things and things get spotty. All right. So also the thing about, you know, you should know, having a black gloss guitar, guess what? It'll always look grimy, especially if you're grimy. Are you grimy? Well, okay. I don't know. Oh, God. At any moment, the tape, this thing could shut off at any moment. So just so I don't forget, it would be really nice of you, I should say, if you would hit the like button, share, hit the notification, and guess what? If you're really super cool, like super cool heels, like from the 70s, like, then that would be cooler if you would subscribe. That would be really cool. I'm not begging for it, but I'm just like, it would be nice. I would appreciate that. And then maybe I could tell you more about the other guitars that I haven't brought out for you guys to witness yet. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be nice to each other. Drink water. You know, clean water, not that dirty water or anything like that. Just regular water, and not a lot of water, just when you're thirsty, you know. All right, folks, all right, God. You know what? Whatever you do it with a lot of fun. Do it because it makes you feel good. Do it because it puts a smile on your face. And that's another thing, too. Make sure you wear a smile on your face more often. It kind of helps other people. And when you see yourself with a smile in the mirror, it'll help you too. Anyway, see you the next time I get all choked up.